Welcome to the Jet Set Hers podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jamie. We discuss travel, adventure, and everyday life. Listen with us and let's go somewhere.
Hi.
Yo, Jenny, what's up?
I'm just really in denial that I just turned 32, but I just had a birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm in denial though because it's just my 12th annual 21st birthday. I'm not going to get any older.
That's the best way to say it. Just 21st every year.
Yeah. So it was fun though. Me and some friends went down to Colorado Springs, which I've only been there to pick Kona up because that's where Kona was born. But we actually got like a hotel. And
where's Colorado Springs from you?
2 hours south of me. So it's like on the other side of Denver. The distance I am to Denver, it's to Denver on the other side.
Got you.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So you're 2 hours south.
Yeah. But it was fun. We just hit up Garden of the Gods, which is like a really popular like nature park there. It's a lot smaller than I realized. I was thinking it was like Rocky Mountain National Park where it's just like miles and miles of trails. It's not that big, but it was really pretty. Definitely worth checking out. We did dinner at the Rabbit Hole, which is a speakeasy, Alice in Wonderland themed, and your entrance to it is like an old subway entrance almost, with some twinkly lights. Yeah, so it was really nice. Nice to get out.
Little birthday trip.
Yeah.
And I saw your hair. Your hair was all nice and straight and sexy. So looking like a boss ass baby for your birthday. I love the vibes. Very grown and sexy vibes.
And staying in the hotel is just fun. You know, I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Riding the elevator, walking around. Their pool had adult hours from 10 to midnight, which every pool should do that because who doesn't want a late night swim in a hotel? And who wants to swim with kids? No one.
Agreed. Right. Especially people our age, we like to, you know, have our own little private time and adult hour after you had some drinks coming in. But it's nice to get back out and travel again. Yay.
It is so nice.
Yes.
So highly recommend. It was in Embassy Suites, but the nice part is my friend works for Hilton, so she gets that hella sweet discount everywhere. I think it was like $45 for her to book it, and it was like one of those like you walk in and there's like a living room with the pull-out sofa, like suite, and then you go into another room and there's 2 beds. And so
like what you see on Home Alone when he gets his dad's credit card and swipes and gets a suite.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's cool. That's a fun birthday. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
How's Michigan?
Well, I worked all weekend, but of course our Detroit Tigers, our baseball, we had a home opener on Friday. So that's like a big party in the city of Detroit. It's like people come out and they tailgate. And even if you don't have tickets to the game, you come downtown and like drink at the bars. It's like an actual holiday for Detroiters. So didn't have to actually work downtown this year. I worked in-house at the restaurant. So
yeah, let's switch over to the episode today, which is really a fun one. I think personally, I love all of our guests, don't get me wrong, but today was one of my favorites, I think already. So we're excited for y'all to hear it and to meet Sally.
Yeah, you guys, I cannot wait for everyone to hear about her company if you haven't already. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to let her tell you guys about it. But honest to gosh, it seems like it's a life-changing app to me, personally, for me.
And for anyone that thinks the way we do.
Absolutely.
And also, she gave out such great information so quick. She kind of ended up interviewing us a little bit. It kind of went backwards, I feel, today.
Yeah, Sally was such a delight to have on the show. So fun. And the best part was she was interviewing us the whole time. So we hope you guys enjoy.
Enjoy. All right, introducing today's guest. We're super excited to talk to today. This is Sally Bunnell, and she is the CEO and founder of something that I just learned about and I'm pretty excited to get more into, and that is Navi Savi. Hi, Sally.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to learn more about the app in a little bit and about you too, because you're a huge traveler. So you'll definitely fit right into this podcast.
When I heard the words beer and travel and in chit chat, I thought, oh my gosh, book me on this show. How do I apply?
Love it.
And that's why we're here. We were having a beer and talking travel anyway. So we were like, well, we might as well meet new people and record it. So here we are.
Like super smart.
So before we get into who you are, what are you drinking over there?
Well, I always say I like my beer like I like my men, blonde and foreign. So I'm having a Stella today. That's usually my drink of choice, preferably on draft, but much harder to get a draft Stella anywhere in Nebraska where I'm currently at. So much more easier. It's much easier in Europe, but this or anywhere in Denmark. I'm always a good fan of, some of their local beers.
Love that.
Love it.
Jamie, I don't think you have a beer. What are you sipping on over there?
Today I am rocking a very nice Malbec. Sticking it easy with wine. Having a nice dinner tonight, so I don't want to mess it up. Sticking with wine.
Keeping it classy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this glass. It doesn't get more classy than this, ladies. A nice little dark plum color to it. So she's nice and tasty.
The pour on that, usually you get in New York and they're like 3 ounces. I'm like, that is 3 ounces. That's not even a glass. Like,
that's a sample. Come on.
Yeah,
seriously. This is a nice healthy home pour, if you will.
Exactly. Get
yes.
when you about a good half bottle, that's what I consider a strong pour.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and my home glasses are the ones that I'm pretty sure can fit an entire bottle in them. So, what a waste.
So it's bigger than normal anyway.
The goblets, like from Sideways, where it's,
yeah.
Which we've seen your Instagram. You're kind of familiar with like larger bottles of wine.
Oh yeah. There's definitely myself in the Hamptons or Ibiza and pouring large bottles or having a good time. Yeah, I've been called a lot of things in this world, and boring's never been one of them. So,
well, then I have to ask you, Jenny, since you asked both of us, what are you sipping on over there?
So I don't have a beer either, which is crazy. It's getting into like warmer weather, like definite full spring vibes. So I have a Topo Chico, which is my favorite seltzer right now, alcoholic seltzer, not just their water. But it's their strawberry guava, and this is like my go-to summer drink.
Ooh. Summer's coming, I feel like, summer's always that kickoff. They say spring is technically this time, but it's like, all right, it's already, when it hits 60 degrees anywhere, it's like, summer's on right now. I'm just pretend it's summer drinking, that it's outdoor bars and rooftops. And, I always like to extend it a little early and always a little late. So.
Great.
All
right.
You.
Well, cheers, ladies.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
My friend's daughter, I taught her how to do that through Zoom, how to cheers through.
I love
Probably
it.
not the best thing to do, but during the pandemic, when she was 2, we had to teach people things.
Teach her the important things early on. I mean,
exactly what you can learn from Aunt Sally.
Right. That's what aunts are for. Okay, so let's find out who you are first. So tell us about yourself.
Long story short, I'm from a little town in Nebraska, about 700 people. I'm about 5 hours from any major airport. From Denver is probably the closest major, or Omaha. Yeah, I grew up as a beekeeper's daughter in the middle of nowhere. And so I always had this like energeticness to me in which I wanted to do something entertainment or video or music or flying. And so I kind of crawled to get out of, the mundane activities that were in the Midwest at the time, in which the careers that you could have. And I went to the local radio station at 16. I said, I'll clean your toilets. I don't care. Like, I just want to get into this world. And within a week, I had my own drive time show and then was selling advertising, recording. This is Sally Buns with your KMTY Mighty 97 weekend weather forecast. So I was doing that at age 16, really, wanted to delve more into that kind of career in the entertainment business. So I went to school to University of Nebraska in Lincoln, where I got 2 degrees. I'd say I was there in college 5 years and got 2 degrees, but it was really just an excuse to keep partying for another year, I think. But I got a degree in broadcast journalism and one in marketing. So after that, during that time, Nebraska used to have a good football team. So I was working at ABC Sports College football through the broadcast journalism department. So I then got to travel to the Big 12 championship. I was at the Sugar Bowl, and I took care of Charles Barkley, he was down there because VTech and Auburn played. And so I really got some insane experiences on a large scale. And then I ended up getting my internship with the Late Show with David Letterman.
Amazing.
And I moved to New York City in 2005. So I was Paul Schaefer's assistant, pretty much, and worked with the CBS Orchestra. So every day I'd meet 3 new celebrities, whether it was Tom Cruise, the Foo Fighters, Bill Clinton, you named it. Every day there was a new set of 3, and one of those being a musical guest. So it was definitely an eye-opener to come from a little town and go to that. But I loved every experience. And then after that, I ended up moving over. I got hired by the Late Show for a while, and then I actually went over and jumped to a record label where I worked as a video content coordinator, which I had no clue what that even meant. But basically, I helped coordinate music video productions and large scale and small scale shoots. So I was working at the record label. I ended up staying there 11 years. You guys might be familiar with the record label from some of the artists, but most importantly, Kids Bop, which I'm sure you've heard of. So
just a little bit.
I oversaw all the Kids Bop campaigns from around 2005 to 2016. So here I was scouting and finding kids like Zendaya and Selena Gomez and Ross Lynch and Becky G and creating commercials. So all those commercials you saw, I probably directed or dreamed up drinking some of these somewhere and said, you know, it would be cool. Let's put all the kids in Atlantis Resort. They don't have slides. And so that's pretty much how that happened. And yeah, so I was doing all the casting, I was working with all the touring, and then a lot of the international expansion. So during that time, I was traveling probably 9 months every year from New York City. So I was on the road constantly, and I was playing the points game, just racking up tons of miles on credit cards, on my personal cards. And then so I kept the miles, you know, and it was just zooming everywhere I could go. People at Hertz in Los Angeles knew me, and they'd hand me a yellow Corvette convertible every time I came to town, like no upcharge. They're just like, we have Big Bird ready for you. So I'd be cruising in this, you know, it was just like the perks of the job. But yes, lots of rock and roll stories to tell as well. That should probably be in a book with but big disclaimer on it, you know, but good times there. And so, yeah, from there, I did that for 11 years. And through that time, I was actually starting to travel the world. And now I've been to 96 countries. My goal was to hit 100 when I turned 40, and I just turned 40, but freaking COVID hit. So I was like, I'll give myself this year to knock out the rest of them.
Right.
But,
You're pretty close. You're pretty close.
I'm pretty darn close. But yeah, so that's kind of the path. And through that time, I actually created and pitched a TV show called Check the Box Travel, which was watch my buddy and I go on an episode, and we'll show you how to go to a country, whether it's Costa Rica or a city. And we kind of show you the highs and high points, low points of different price points, things to do, eat, sleep, play, explore, my favorite party. And so we kind of went all over a country, and then you could go online to a web and watch short videos of more in depth of that experience, other options. Well, we pitched it to the Travel Channel and several others for about 3 years, in 2013 to 2016, and they all passed on it. They said, well, you're not Insta famous enough. Like, this is the rise of the Instagrammer. And I'm like, no, but you know what? We're still acting hilarious on camera. Like, you know, like we have a good time. It's real, it's raw. And then they asked if the business side existed, and we were just hoping to partner with like an Expedia or somebody that could already have that back end booking integration. So we pitched for about 3 years. And in 2017, I decided to break up with the record label. We went our separate ways. And I said, you know what? There's something here. Like, I still got an itch I need to scratch. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go out and try to be a travel influencer. Well, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to be that girl that's like posing for photos and carrying beautiful dresses. I will always be the girl that wears all black and still you can see a stain on my t-shirt. Like, rock and roll, don't give a shit. Like, I'm not going to take the time to make beautifully edited pictures and be somebody that I'm not. I'm just, I believe the blog was called Rally Sally Travels, Followed the Journey and the Drunkenness. So that gives you an idea of kind of what it was about. And some of the blog posts were like, how to buy Plan B in Sweden. Dolphin rape is real, you know, like what you need to know about Berlin. So here I was,
I love it.
creating this outrageous content, and still on the side, I'm still consulting for brands like Build-A-Bear and Jason Mraz. And so it kind of got to the point where I couldn't do both. I had a few people knocking and saying, I don't think Build-A-Bear is going to appreciate dolphin rape as real blog posts. I was like, yes, but I can't be who I want to be, you know?
Right.
So I kind of put that on hold and started really working on the idea of Navi Savi, which was check the box, and turning that into a website or some sort of platform. I was seeing basically the rise of user-generated content. You know, here I'm shooting a commercial for $500,000 at, you know, for 60 seconds or $250,000, and yet we're getting just as good, if not better, click-through rates on the phone footage the kids are uploading. And, you know, and it's more relatable. It was also the rise of YouTube, in which kids are just watching other kids play or unbox videos. It was mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
And we were trying to see content versus quality, and kind of where that was meshing in the intersection. So through that, I decided, you know, okay, so I think we're on to something here in terms of travel. Why, you know, obviously Instagram is now giving people this glamorous look and influencers of travel, but nobody's giving the real look of travel from a user to user perspective. And if they were, it was being done through comments like TripAdvisor, where people are like, this sucked. And you're like, I don't know who you are. You could be my mother, you know, and have this opinion, or somebody that has wild taste of extravagancy, you know? So I kind of just was like, you know what? I just want to see the experience for myself, because a photo is worth 1,000 words, but I think a video is worth 1,000,000,000. And if I can see the experience for 10 seconds, I don't have to go read anywhere else. I don't have to see the quality that they're comparing things to, or, you know, a lot of these photos that are promotional photos, and then compared with user photos, I'm just like, why should I have to go back and forth? So I created Navi Savi, in which it's basically user to user, peer to peer, uploading of 30-second or less videos, unedited. So you don't have to be an Instagrammer and spend all this time learning algorithms and all that bullshit. No TikTok dances. Just show the experiences that you recommend and put them up on Navi Savi. We pay you $1 per video that we approve. And the reason we do that is because we want to actually approve good content. We don't just want you to hashtag Miami restaurants and it's all these women in beaches and butts. And it's like, that shows me nothing of the food. I sit on investor meetings all the time. Like, why wouldn't I just go to Instagram? So, right, let's find where to eat tonight in Miami Beach. Hashtags, you only get one hashtag, Miami Beach. Tell me, you know, what you get. And it's all big boobs and butts on the beach, you know, and nothing to do with food. So, you know, it's like, for me, I just wanted a way to kind of sort through user generated content that would quickly be relevant to me as it pertained to travel. So that's kind of where we ended up. So every video, we make sure you would check in on Google Places, pretty much no different than what you do in all the platforms. Say you're at Epcot Center or wherever, some fancy restaurant or nightclub. You shoot 2 to 3 videos just showing the experience, 30 seconds or less. We pay you for each video that you upload, which is $2 to $3 per place. So then once you upload them, put them into, tag all those videos in one grouping, give us why it's a must-see, or it's, you know, why a hidden gem, what's a little insider helpful hint or tip. We have even on there if it has good Wi-Fi. Click. So then you can tag in additional to, you know, eat, sleep, play, explore. We even have LGBTQ. We have eco-friendly. We have everything under the sun, so you can really start narrowing down your choices. And it even populates from Google the exact web address, so you can go directly to it, and even the price points. So then you have all this information, so you can sort through and watch videos of the best things to do in Chicago and say, I want to go eat for $2 signs, Chicago. And now you just watch videos, bing, 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 swipe up, get all the information, save it, and you can even build a video itinerary. We're soon we just signed a partnership deal with booking.com. So we'll be integrating that into our newest release that we have. And then, then we're going to start having Navi Savi travel advisors, in which we can basically, been in 96 countries. I got a few pointers when it comes to booking your trip. So, you know, we'll be integrating that as well. And then, user generated content. We help the users that upload those clips also get known and license those clips. So we do a rev split, a revenue share. So if you upload 40 great clips of Detroit or in Denver or on your last vacation, we then approach the Board of Tourism and say, we have all this great content. would you guys be interested in using it in a campaign? So now I reach back out to you guys and say, they offered us $5,000 to use all this. You had 8 of those clips. Would you be interested in participating? I don't think anybody would say, no, I think I'm out. You still own your clips, you still own your content. And I tell people, you're putting all that shit on Instagram for free and letting them make money off of your content that you keep putting up daily. Why not get paid for your content, make money off your content, and own your content, and have that ability to start, now creating your own vacations and your own travel itineraries and plans through videos, which you can share much like a Google form and doc and both work on and plan vacations. And so that's kind of what we're doing here at Navi Savi. We have 25,000 videos already up on the app for you to save and book. And yeah, we're just going after specific locations now as travel's really starting to reemerge. So that's Navi Savi and myself in a nutshell. A big nutshell.
That was a lot of information. First of all, the TV show that never got accepted, I would have watched the shit out of that.
Definitely.
I think we should bring it back anyway, but
I'll be one of your tour guides on there. How about that?
Yeah, perfect.
And these videos are great because when I'm a planner when it comes to travel, especially, and the first thing I do is Google image the restaurant. I want to see what that spaghetti looks like, and what's better than a picture? A video.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And also I think you need a vibe of a place. So many times I was, I'd be looking at restaurants and it would be, whether it was a business dinner or a date or my ex's family was in town, where should we take them? You have to know what the vibe is. If it's too loud, people of certain ages aren't going to enjoy it, or it's too dark and it's too loud and too many tables are too close together. And also, even when I travel, I use it so much to get an idea of what people are wearing, so I know how to pack. Because when I look at a lot of the nightclubs, when I had moved to Copenhagen, I had first packed all these high-heeled boots. Well, it is all cobblestone streets, and there's a reason why Scandinavian women wear sneakers to the nightclub. I had a lot of sprained ankles that summer. But, those are the kind of things that was all right, so if people are dressing this way or have this certain vibe, or, it just saved me a lot of time. And I was trying to take a trip to try to do a safari. And the first thing I remember is Googling all the stuff. And by this point, you don't know what place to pick. You're going to go to TripAdvisor because it's based on reviews. There wasn't a lot of other info. Otherwise, a ghetto ass website. And you're like, I don't know, who are these people on the other side? And are they going to take my money? And you just didn't know what the deal was. Well, I remember they had 10 photos up in 2 paragraphs, but it went all the places I wanted to hit and it was the right price. So I emailed them. I said, can you just shoot a couple videos of what the transport looks like? You have to spend 21 days bumping and setting up tents. And they were like, no, we can't do that. I said, but you have a social media account that you put content on. Oh, well, no, we're not authorized to do that. I said, then what are you hiding? Because I'm going to come there and I'm going to see it for myself anyway. Right. Don't bamboozle me here. The 2 things I don't have enough of is time or money. And I don't want to waste either of them if I only have a limited amount. So
agreed.
Yes. So that's kind of where the whole premise of all this came from. And, and it's really just, I see all these people putting, I'm part of a digital nomad group, and, everybody gets on the Slack channel. We have a big Slack channel. Hey, I'm going to be in Cape Town. Where should I go for good Wi-Fi cafes? And it blows my mind daily that these a-holes are putting it in a Slack channel that disappears constantly. And then you forget where to go, how to reference it, what channel it was in. Then you had to save it if you missed it, and then it's gone. Or we have a WhatsApp group. Well, I miss a week and I've 58 messages in a WhatsApp group. Well, I'm not going to remember any of that. The hyperlinks, where am I going to put those? I have to find another document. Or even Google Maps. We have some people that create these maps of places, pins on a map to go. Well, then if I don't know that person, then I didn't get the invite to that. And I'm just why not just centralize and put all of our videos, we make money from them, and we can share information so other people can use them, and it's also kind of the cream of the crop. It's not if this really sucked, people aren't going to go tell you to go do it. It's really just peer-to-peer recommendations. So that's kind of like the whole premise is I was having all these people watch my travels on Instagram and say, I saw you were just in Croatia. I want to go. Where should I go? And it's like, I'm going to have to find all these effing hyperlinks, send them to you, do all this work myself. When I already shot the video, I might as well put it on Navi Savi and you can go see it for yourself. So that's really like where I see the vision of this coming and the intersection between social media, inspiration and actual booking process. So every video is bookable. So, why waste your time in reading comments and back and forth and what do you recommend? But it's just like, nah, we put the power to the people and let us, have that one-on-one dialogue.
Well, and like the things with like Yelp reviews is sometimes people are just being Karen sometimes, and
Very true.
it's not that the place didn't give a good experience, it's that they came in mad. And so when people are like, oh, but that one bad review, I'm like, yeah, but they might have a total different outlook on life than you. So
I do have to tell you this. So my mom's name is Karen, and this is the great part. I used to work at Kids Bop. So I was like, Mom, you were the OG Kids Bop Karen. Like you were the original Kids Bop Karen, like she's not a bitch, but she's just like, okay. And like she had no clue what it meant to be a Karen. I was like, oh, I'm going to show you this video. Mom's going to bust your world up. But yeah, there's a lot of Karens out there.
I've met some Karens that are like, I hate this stereotype. And I'm like, then just don't be one and you're good.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. We all know that type. I always play a little game called Lesbian or Just a Midwesterner, which I think identifies a lot with
I love that.
Or gay or European, they always dress well, both sides. But
love it.
So tell me about your girls' travels. What's on your agenda? Where are you planning to go next?
We're planning on going everywhere.
Okay. Our list is actually growing exponentially every day. Actually, every interview, it grows longer and longer.
Good. I guess start with where have you been and where is your first goal place to go?
So I've only been to Europe twice. And then here I've been all over the US. So a lot of US travel, a couple cruises, which I don't really count because it's not like you're really stepping into territory. It's more just like you go to a beach and get back on the boat. But I've been to like Ireland, London, Italy, and Paris. So those are my big,
You've hit the big ones. That's always like a good starter trip. I always found like, well, my first was like Canada. I was like, I'm going to go places they speak English first. Canada, Australia, London. And then, it's kind of that Euro trip, I think, London, Paris, Italy, kind of make your way around. So,
yeah.
And how about yourself, Jamie?
So for me, I haven't really done too much international. I'm kind of like Jenny. I've done a lot stateside, but I've really only been to Canada. I'm like you. I've been to Canada kind of a lot when I was little. I'm actually going in the end of October for my cousin's wedding.
Nice. What part?
Toronto, actually, right outside of Toronto. So my first time, me and my cousin are going. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're excited. Just got my passport for the first time. Like
I know, yay!
Applied for it a week ago. So
we're so proud.
2 weeks ago. Yeah. So
we have now a bunch of videos on Navi Savi about Toronto, and I'm up there all the time. So you have to keep in touch. I'll give you all the goods and the ins and outs.
Heck yeah. After me and Jenny were doing research for this episode, I'm like, this Navi Savi is absolutely fantastic. I'm upset that I didn't know about it sooner.
We just came out in June. So
well, good. I don't feel as bad because I'm like, this is life-changing almost.
Oh, and there's a lot of places that we need to add, but as long as people understand we're still the baby in this industry and we're just proving the model to get out there. But
people like us that can add more content and help it grow.
Okay, I'm already like, what videos do I have? So
yeah, exactly. And they can be older videos too. We time stamp everything. So that way you get an idea if it was pre-COVID, post-COVID. You can usually tell how many masks are in there, but
right. In the picture, the video.
Okay. So Toronto will be your first kind of overseas, or not overseas, international.
International, yep. There's some big ones on the list. I definitely was supposed to go to Australia in 2021 for me and my cousin's birthday, and that didn't happen because of COVID. But me and my cousin Katrina were like, it's her and I, we travel everywhere together. So that was our big one that we kind of missed. I was looking at some photos of Amsterdam today. That kind of is like really up my alley. Kind of want to get over there maybe after Toronto, but it's just so much on the list. It's so much in so little time.
Amsterdam's great during the summer too. I'll give you one hint. eat the Brazilian mushrooms and ride your bike to Anne Frank's house. It'll be an experience you never forget.
Sounds great.
Tell me more about these mushrooms. Wait.
Oh, ladies, that's another episode. I've got all sorts of you get an old record label lady a little buzzed, and I got stories to tell. But
I didn't even think about Anne Frank's house. Like I love the history side of travel, and so now I need to go there tomorrow. So
yeah. And have you ever been to Tomorrowland in Belgium?
Belgium is high on our list. High on our list.
mean, beer.
I just went for the first time in 2019 to the music festival and to Belgium. I just hadn't gotten there. And it was one of the most amazing trips. And I loved it so much. I stuck around after the festival for about a week. And then I went over and took a train to Luxembourg, where I was like, a place you would never just think to go. Insanely beautiful. I stayed an entire week. I only planned to go for 2 days. I was just like, this place is amazing. The people, it was just that whole area. You can just get a train pass and get lost, over there for a month. And now you can be a Navi Savi brand ambassador and shoot content along the way and help us. We're actually looking for people right now that are going to be traveling this summer. Extra referral codes and uploading content, doing live takeovers and helping it going to hostels and getting them on board with referral codes. So, or if there's a place that a lot of people I know, digital nomads or backpackers, are spending 1 month or longer, then we help fund your travels and pay you to shoot content daily while you're there, to upload videos to Navi Savi to show us the best of in those locations. So if anyone's listening and they have a trip planned, let us know. We help fund those travels. So
I'm about to book something.
It's a bonus.
We actually had a gal that made $900 on her last vacation. Insane. On Navi Savi. It was like, okay, so yes, you can definitely fund your travels. But for us, we see it as a better experience of a one-on-one person showing. It's not just a pristine content creator. It's an everyday person's point of view of like where they're going and finding, or locals even. Locals have been great getting their camera out and running around their own cities and showing us the best of, Detroit. I'd love to know the best, places to have cocktails in Detroit. Or for 24 hours, what is your list? Create me a playlist of that on Navi Savi. We'll promote the shit out of it. Fun things like that. That's kind of like what we're looking for, is that insider insight. So.
And I love it too, because it feels kind of like it's more of a normal person. Like you don't have to be an influencer to go to this place, or you don't have to feel that weight of, Instagram shadowing behind you going to this place. It feels more relatable.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Well, also, it's not obviously, because you'll see on Instagram videos where it's very obvious that restaurant is like paying them to come in, and because they're getting the best of the best drinks and desserts and all that. It's actually someone just like, hey, I'm going to have dinner and I'm going to show you it.
It's a real experience. And that's why we call it the real travel reel. Play on words, but I like these puns. Rally Sally, Navi Savi, the real travel reel. We're full of them. So, all right. So where's your, if your one dream spot you could go, where would it be?
We normally ask this question.
Right.
I've been to 96 countries. I've always got more, but
mine is Switzerland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably Peru.
Okay.
It's the history,
What about you? You're already at 96 countries. I feel like that's not really a good question.
I know. I was supposed to be in South Africa this year. Due to Omicron, my trip got canceled in February. But I figured Africa's not going anywhere. It's been around plenty of years. And then I put on my bucket list this year for 40. I wanted to go do India and Sri Lanka. Definitely get down and do some sort of safari at some point. And I really want to go hit the 7th continent, which would be Antarctica. So that's but I get boat sick, car sick. I'm like, Drake's Passage is worrying me a bit. So that would be the only hindrance. But other than that, that's kind of my top ones. But I will say Switzerland, I absolutely love Switzerland. It's probably one of my favorite, most beautiful places to go in winter or summer. I'm actually going to be there June of this year. So,
Oh,
and I've got friends that are there. So whenever you want to go, you just hit me up. And they live in Lugano. I have some in Zurich. So I've got friends all over the world. So I'm never, always just hit me up. I'll just put you in touch with people all over. So, and Peru as well. I know many people in Peru, and I actually got a stomach amoeba when I went to Peru.
oh
So
no.
yeah,
Do you
it was
know where
either,
you got it from?
yeah, it was either the alpaca stir fry or the ice in my cocktail. So I
Oh,
lost
no.
about 12 pounds in a week. I, never looked better, but boy, did I earn it. Like Kate Moss at the end of that trip, that I was miserable.
Oh.
And I mean, and that's such a physical place to be, like hiking and everything. So
In the altitude,
Yeah.
I got such bad altitude sickness. I remember I came into Lima, and of course I went partying the first night out. Like, I had friends that I'd met traveling that lived there, and so they took us out partying. My friend Lewis and I. We get in, we party it up, and then we take a flight to Cusco the next day. Well, the elevation alone is going to hurt, which I had no clue, nor did I even really do the research that it was actually winter pretty much in Cusco. Like, I was like, oh, it's going to be summer. It's January, no. So we were freezing our asses off. And of course, elevation, I got in that day and I was just puking left and right. Like, it was the elevation, a hangover for days. And then they started calling me Jesus on that trip, because every 3 days I'd be down and they'd get some medicine. I'd be up partying, and then 2 days after the meds were off. But they ended up basically trying to give me oxygen, figure out like all these things. They realized finally I had an amoeba, not a parasite, in which basically I was like, if I could bottle this and sell this in Los Angeles, I would be a millionaire. But yeah, so I finally got it figured out, but that's where they call me Rally Sally from. So I will rally for any occasion. I'll keep partying. So puke some blood, keep it going. All right, puke and rally.
literally.
Literally, yes. You know it. So
That's the one good thing about living here is I feel like I'm kind of preparing myself for the altitude at least. So that won't be what gets me, but maybe the amoeba will.
yeah, I never know. I know, pocket stir fry.
I don't even know if I could eat that anyway. Maybe, I don't know.
You'd be surprised. You
I
get there
know.
and you're like,
Yeah.
okay. One of their specialties in Peru is actually guinea pig.
We learned that on the pod,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it was crazy because we were there and it was somebody's birthday, and that's actually a dish they serve for birthdays is guinea pig. And we went to this guinea pig farm and we're for someone, and I don't know, on a tour, and they were like, it's your birthday, pick one out. And this gal was like, oh my gosh, I get to keep a guinea pig or what? And we were like, nope. Roast it.
Oh, I could not
roast it
pick
for
one
you.
out. It would have to already be cooked and on the plate, like,
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
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 I
Not like
wouldn't
a
want to pick
lobster.
one out.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Just surprise me at this point.
Yeah, life experiences, but
You would almost want to pick the ugliest one because you'd feel bad for all the cute ones.
yeah,
No.
they had no mercy there. They did that in Vietnam as well. I remember we were doing a homestay. We went down to the very south of the Mekong Delta, like the very bottom, and we had this homestay, and they were like, all right, we're all gonna cook and prepare dinner for everybody. Well, they come out with this giant snake, and they give somebody a knife, and they said, who wants to do the honors? We're like, what in the hell? They basically were making snake soup, in which they cut the head off. People would drink the blood, and then they made it to snake soup. And that was probably the one time I passed on being adventurous. I was just like, ooh, too far gone on that one. Like,
So it was alive, and then.
oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, pretty gruesome. I'm sure you're not ready for supper at this stage now. At what time?
What kind of snake was it?
Well, I don't know. It was black, but
Whoa.
that's all I know. But yeah,
Yeah.
after that, I was pretty much done with Vietnam. So definitely.
Okay. How about what's the best food you've tried?
Ooh,
Your travels?
I mean,
96 countries. I mean,
Variety.
right.
Italy. I actually spent a good chunk of the summer in Florence for about 6 weeks last year. And I mean, you can go anywhere and it can be the most basic pasta with red sauce. And you're just like, how is this so amazing? And then you have some, vino tinto and Italian mint, and it makes for the perfect,
My favorite.
it makes for the perfect dinner, and always a good time. So Italy, just based on, I did live in Copenhagen, and they actually have, I think, the most Michelin star restaurants per capita, though. So
wow.
Copenhagen had some really good food as well. So
what are they known for?
They've got so many good places. I wouldn't say Copenhagen's known for one specialty dish. It's kind of this fusion of the world that kind of comes together.
That makes sense.
Fish stuff.
Fish stuff. When we were in Italy, we stayed in this hostel, and it was ran by two Spanish brothers, and they would actually cook us pasta every night, and it was just basic home cooked pasta, but that was even fantastic. So good. That was Rome. Yeah. So we just hit Naples and Rome because Pompeii has been like always my number one. So we made that happen, and then spent a few days in Rome, and I loved it. Like I had a lot of people tell me before, like, oh, it's gonna be really dirty and grungy, and I didn't have that experience. So Naples was a little dirtier, but I still loved it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite things. Worth it.
Definitely. Yeah.
I just had like a 5-minute interaction. I was with my current roommate, and she was like on the phone trying to FaceTime family. And I was waiting for the bus, and this guy just came up and was so charming and oh, amor and all that. He like kissed me on the cheek, and he kind of asked me to like, go back to his place. And I was like, oh no, I can't. I'm with a friend. And it was like the best 5 minutes ever.
But I've learned, I once took a lover from Treviso. That's a long story. But the one thing I did learn was facciamo festa, which means let's party.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, facciamo festa. You gotta do the hands with it. Right. It's never failed me, and let me tell you that.
Oh. Yeah, next time I'll be like, where's your place? Let's go. You live and you learn.
Ditching your friend next time.
Bye, Amber.
Exactly.
If it's me, I will tell you. Go for it.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'll
see
be
you in a
here.
few hours.
Yeah. You can always find a new friend, right?
I'll take that one for the team. You do you, Stu.
Love that.
Have you girls traveled together at all?
We've traveled to see each other because we've always been long distance pretty much for the most part, or that's when our friendship really blossomed. We met living in Florida, but then she moved, and that's when we became friends, which is weird. It's like opposite of.
I've had that though. You become closer after you're apart. You're like, I never even talked to you when you lived here.
Yeah. So she would come visit me in Florida every year, and then I've been to see her twice now in Detroit. So now I just need to get her to Colorado, where I live now.
Yeah, Colorado is like one of the top spots for vacations and holidays, and
that's in the works too. Yeah. And beer.
Oh yeah, breweries and stuff.
Yeah, that's right up our alley.
What area are you in again, Jenny?
Fort Collins. So I'm an hour north of Denver.
Yep.
Which I have to say, like moving here, I was already into craft beer, but there wasn't really a ton in Florida where I lived. They are now, they're popping up all over, but all the beer here is so amazing. So I just kind of had it in my head that all craft breweries are amazing. This weekend, I spent a couple days down in Colorado Springs, which is an hour south of Denver. And we went to a brewery and and I'm not going to name them because I don't want to give them hate, but like it was all terrible. Every single one of their beers was terrible. And so it just made me like, maybe we do just live in like one of the best craft beer places. And maybe they're not all just amazing. I'm spoiled. So
I think that's it.
yeah.
My ex, when he first came to New York, like he lived with me in New York City, and he was always like, oh, you all have these like special beers all the time. I just want a normal beer. Like he'd always just ask the bartender, I just want a normal beer, like a Pilsner, like a normal, like a Stella or it's just like, I want a normal beer. I was like, because here we have so many craft beers and it's just like, for
beer snobs.
And they refuse to drink Busch Light, Bud Light, any of our American beers. Yeah.
Right.
All right, I had to find the in between of all of those, but
which is funny because in Ireland, every single pub I went to had Coors Light on draft.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. And I'm like, out of all the American beers, like Coors Light is what has taken off.
You're like, or I remember when I was in New York City. In Brooklyn, it started popping up. All the cool places had PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and they were charging like $10 for one. And I'm like, you can buy a whole case for $3 back home. Like, how is this like the beer of like the new millennials? Like,
it's the hipster beer, yeah.
Hipsters.
Yeah, I felt cool, and I mean, I was cheap in college, but I would have just fit right in. I was just a little before my time, I guess. So
one of my first ever visits to an actual brewery was Brooklyn Brewery, though. So
it's a good one, though. Yeah.
And it was cool because you buy like tokens. So it's not like you pay for each beer individually. You buy tokens, and then certain beers are worth 2, some are worth 1. So it's almost like gambling for beer. Yeah.
It is a gamble because then you don't know how much, and you test and try. And it's nothing I love better than a good afternoon taste tester. Or they have the places, I think they started having them in the States, but like where you can go in and pour your own vino and get your own wine and like different testers. And it's like, it's like a kid, your first time. And like, when you have the soda machine, you can mix them all.
Yeah.
I did that. I was down in Chile for New Year's Eve one year. And we went to a vineyard. Never wear a white dress and skirt to a vineyard. Let me tell you, because when you're ralphing red wine after drinking so much, it looks like a bloodbath and there's no way escaping it. I was wearing this like white floral print. I was just like projectile vomiting red wine. I was like, okay, keeping it classy, keeping it classy,
and that's when you do the walk of shame with red stains on you back to the
my boyfriend was driving. I just didn't even care. I was just like, all right, babe, take it off. It's Chile. Nobody will know who we are here. Now you fast forward years later and I have a podcast about it.
Yeah. Right. Or they'll be looking at Navi Savi and be like, wait, I remember her.
Yeah, was that the vineyard she ralphed all over it? Yeah, probably. But
that's one of the reviews and the video tag.
Yeah, exactly. So good. I couldn't stop drinking the red wine on the tour. But
what's really cool about Navi Savi is like it's our idea for this podcast, but on like such a grander scale. Because like our main things when we interview people are what are the hidden gems? Where's the best place to eat? Like all this stuff. And I feel like that's what y'all are tagging, but through a visual representation.
Just put them up, that's the easiest part about it. You just put them up and see what, there's just such a disconnect between trying to get information out of your friends and family that went there. Because most people trust friends and family 95%. And it's really split actually, the statistics in which 50% of the people love to plan, love to research, love to document their travels. And the other 50% are like, screw it. Where did she go? I'll just do whatever you did. As long as it looked cool and I saw it on social media. Done.
So say I upload a bunch of my Italy videos. Is there a
Yep.
way for me to like tag on Facebook, like, hey, check out these videos I uploaded to Navi Savi?
You know it. So soon, basically in a week, we'll be releasing this new version, this hopefully by the end of this week, in which you can basically create your playlist and share it onto your social media platforms. It'll probably share the first 4 videos just as a little piece of like, all right, come over to Navi Savvy and check out the whole playlist. You can
Right.
book this, you can save this, you can build your own from it. And then we can share it. Right now, you can share videos to TikTok, back and forth, vice versa. So, and we also have it so, on your profile of Navi Savvy, you can link out to Instagram, to your blog post, your website. I'm not here to take away the aesthetics of beautiful photography or great blog posts or people's YouTube channels. Like, that was never the premise to take down all of that content. It's really just, we're the quick and dirty version. If
Right.
you're travel and leisure and you're writing about the 10 top rooftop bars in Chicago, well, why not just attach a quick visual itinerary to it instead of me reading it? And then I have to click your hyperlink. And then I got to write these down somewhere because I saw it on a web or on my phone. It's just like, I'm just tired of, mine was blown. I remember I went to Mexico City. My friend is a big partier and he wrote Michael's ultimate guide to Mexico City. So I was so stoked that I found that, or he sent this. We were on vacation. We were there probably day 3 of like 7. And I still couldn't find the list. I'm like, did he email it to me? Did he text it to me? It was on Facebook Messenger, which I never am on Facebook Messenger. I'm always on Instagram or somewhere else. I basically didn't find this list until like Michael's awesome Mexico City itinerary until like the last 3 days. And I was so pissed because I didn't have time to do some of the things or to pre-plan it so much. It was just, when you're getting ready for a trip, it's so busy. You're packing, you're trying to sort all this stuff. Like, the main tent poles you're going to have is a flight and pretty much a hotel. And tours and activities are actually booked pretty much the day before or day of. And the nice part with Navi Savvy is you can still book a hotel in advance on Navi Savvy and see the video, but you can also book while you're on vacation. You can be in Mexico City, type play or drink or whatever, see what's around you and watch videos of cool bars next to you. It's not like you have to think about it before you go. Did you download the offline maps? Did you It's like, it's right there at your fingertips before, when you're there, and after you get back. You can recommend the places. You can create your own itinerary, add new things you found, because there's always going to be those unexpected gems. You're like, it was raining out and we walked in and there was this great cocktail bar. We had no clue and the music was great. Like, you should go there. And then they always say, it was 2 blocks past, where they do the wrestling, and it's here. And it's like, okay, I will never find that. And pin it on the map and just check in on Navi Savvy, shoot a video, and leave the rest to me,
Well, and it's a tool. So it's like, if people want to read paragraphs and paragraphs, those are out there still, and they're going to always be out there. But this is it's that tool for your planning or while you're currently there. It's just got all the little information, and then you can decide if you want to read more.
And attention spans are down from 7 seconds to 3 seconds. So when I talk to, brands or these, hostels or these experiences, I'm like, people, you have 3 seconds to get their attention, especially with millennials, Gen Z, younger generations, even myself. I'll just tap, 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 tap. Right now, our videos, for 30-second videos, our average watch time is 12 seconds per each video. So that tells you people actually are coming on and saying, holy shit, these are cool. You don't get that kind of watch time anywhere in the, nowadays, and unless you're looking at long form. So 12 seconds is good for long form. We can't even sit through a 10-second commercial on YouTube, hardly. But, so we're on the right path. It's really just taking time. It's got to scale. The world's got to open for travel. And I think this is the year to do it. And if we can just get everybody to come together as a community of trust, of like recommendations, like, this will, I invented this for myself because I wanted this. I just wanted to be able to quickly see and not have paragraphs and paragraphs in photos. And coming from video production, I think videos, the quick fix to everything. Just show it to me real quick and then I'll make a decision. So
That's our future.
Exactly. And nobody has to, and no offense, but I can't stand when I see these kids, today I'm going to talk to you about Iceland. I have to watch 20 minutes of their YouTube video before they even get into it. And they're like,
I make it about 20 seconds into those, then I'm like, I'm not learning anything.
yeah. And then I'm like, who are you? And then all you told me was the Blue Lagoon, which I could find in 2 seconds of time. Like, and then you're going to send me to your affiliate link. So I just want the best price and get to the quick and dirty. So that's kind of what we're trying to do, and make it that everybody can be a content creator. You don't have to showcase yourself and have a freaking following or follow an algorithm or any of that crap. Just put it up, be yourself.
That's what I love most about it. Not
Yeah.
you have fancy filters, just put it up.
Yeah, that should be our campaign. No fancy fucking filters. Just
Love it.
just I always tease, I said we should just do they're real and they're fabulous Navi Savi, videos, just keeping it down to earth. So
I love it.
Love it.
So you already answered our bucket list question, which is normally how we end it. So instead, I'm going to ask you, if you could only live one place for the rest of your life, where would you live?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a good one.
Ooh, live or retire. It depends what age I am, I guess. If I'm still my age and single, I have a different idea. But I mean, I love Thailand. I love the beaches, the food, the atmosphere. The Aussies are so much fun. The Italians, the food, Danish. I just love Scandinavian people. Shit, that's a tough one. I'd probably have to go. I'd probably go Italy, because then I can eat. I can still mountains and ski. You have beaches. You have good looking men, food. You're still, got a bit of everything to it. That'd probably be my go-to would be Italy if I had to. But
I'll meet you there. Because I always say, like, people are like, because I moved to Massachusetts once from Florida, didn't love it, moved back. And so people are like, oh, well, how do you like Colorado? And I'm like, I love it. I'm not moving unless it's to Italy.
Yep.
But
exactly.
then, see you later, Colorado.
Or you could become a digital nomad and
Hop
live in
around.
one new place each month.
Yes.
That's what I say. It's basically, instead of, why you don't want to, I always say you don't want to eat the same dish every night. Why not just have a sampler all the time? Why not each month live somewhere new and sample? And then when I get old and settle down, I can, which should be, my age now, but there'll be
No way.
Oh no. I hope I'm like you when I'm 40.
Oh,
Me too.
I hope your liver's not like mine at 40, but
I mean, maybe having a craft beer podcast might not have helped that. But...
Girl, you'll be just fine. Trust me. I turned out okay. That's what I tell my mom. I turned out fine. No, but I always say the world is a book. And if you've never left where you're from, you've only read the first page. And I think that's very true for Americans, which we have a hard time leaving the US because we have so much to do just here. When you live in Europe, you have the, just going to Italy is like going to Texas, and so,
Yeah.
and it's such different culture. But, I think that's probably the biggest thing is just book that first trip and go. You're always going to be nervous. You're never going to be 100% prepared, but the experiences that you have are going to last you a lifetime, more than any material possession you can buy. And all these memories I have up here, I can't take shit with me when I die, but boy, can I take all these, They're the very end people I've met. And the world is so small nowadays. Like I jump on a plane and I see a friend from Zurich, or, you're just like, what in the hell, running into people in London, and you realize like it's small and it's going to become even smaller. So get out there, see the world. There's great discount airlines and places and ways to do it, and document with Navi Savi and upload and make some cash as they go.
Pay for that dinner that you're having.
Yeah, exactly. Where that $3 goes you a long way in Thailand. So
Right, for real.
That's funny you say that. My first international trip was to Ireland, and we ran into people we went to high school with.
Really?
Yeah. They just happened to be there the same week, and so we went and had a beer at the bar, and I was just like, how funny. Like, I would have never probably had a beer with them back in Florida, but if you're in Ireland, you can't not. I don't know.
They're your new best friends for life. I always say you meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and you don't know till it's all done. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, my CTO, I met him in LA years ago, and he worked in the music business, and He moved to tech. He's out of Stockholm now. It's just like, why we never ever thought I'd start a business with you 20 years ago, but never know. So,
Great. Well,
Here
thank
we
you so
are.
much. Before we say goodbye, tell everyone exactly how to find Navi Savi and all that it has to offer.
yes, you can find Navi Savi, which is NaviSavi app.com, or you can find us on iOS or Android devices. And NaviSaviApp.com, at Navi Savi Travel on all the social handles. And if you're daring enough to watch Rally Sally in action, you can follow me at Sally Bunnell. That's Bunnell for all the drunken and the journeys, I guess, it come with.
And we will tag all of that on ours. So thank you so much. This was a ton of fun. We learned so much, and I'm going to go look at some videos to upload.
You better.
Thank you so much, Sally. It was a wonderful time.
This was an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to coming back and seeing some of your Navi Savvy videos and talking about those experiences.
Can't wait. Bye, Sally.
Bye.
A big thank you again to Sally for coming on. We love you, and we just had so much fun.
Yeah, thanks again to Sally. If you ever need some more people to work on Navi Savvy for some videos, we know we're going to get started. You guys, $1 per video. I mean, anybody should be doing this right now. Extra side hustle.
And it reminds you to take videos. And I mean, I feel like so many people get so busy in the travel and they don't document their trip. So I feel like that gives you the incentive to document it. And then you have it for yourself too. Like, I love looking at videos from my trips.
The best part is you can share it too, from people, real people to real people.
So definitely go download that app. I just did it. I know Jamie already did it. So y'all hop on that too, because it's going to be big, y'all. And let's get in there before, be that person that's like, oh, I knew about that before anyone else.
It's going to be big.
And we'll definitely link all of her stuff. So if you want to, watch old Rally Sally and her adventures as well. And that'll be on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at
JetSetHers Pod.
If you have anything you want to say to us, send us an email.
JetSetHers@gmail.
And because you know you love us, go on, give us that 5-star rate, give us that good review.
You know what to do. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.
Bye.